Okay, sorry. Had to finish watching. Oh. The Wilson's Heart episode. Tragic. Absolutely tragic. My goodness. Okay, wait. Here's a question. Why can't somebody just live off bypass forever? There must be a reason, right? Why not? Like when she wakes up and she's on bypass, it's like, oh, they're gonna have to turn it off and kill. Why can't you live off of bypass forever? Bypass machine. Wait. You're looking for ECMO. I don't know what that means. Extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, a type of life support machine that can help you with life-threatening heart and lung conditions. They pump a patient's blood outside of their body to a heart-lung machine that removes carbon dioxide and adds oxygen. Oh, yeah. You finally realized that House peaked after season 3? After season 3? House peaked. Season 3 was the best. Wait, if you have a machine like this, do you need to breathe? Do patients on ECMO need to breathe? I wonder if you would by reflex still. You're almost always intubated as well? Cringe. Wait, wrong thing. ECMO is pronounced ECMO. Oh, we watched this. Okay, let's watch this 6-minute video for no reason. Are you gonna watch the AJW video? I watched like the first 8 minutes of it, and it's actually so unbelievable. I don't even know what the we can watch. We'll watch as much of it as I can stomach, I guess. Yeah.
Hello, hi video order stuff, welcome back. Does it annoy you when you shoot an interior scene and any shot that has a window in it ends up being completely overexposed?
Yeah.
I've had many requests.
Bro, this is totes me. This is me, bro. This is me.
From you guys for tips of how to shoot that kind of scene without having the view outside of the window overexposed.
It's not possible, dude. It's impossible. No way is he going to show us how to do this.
To mimic the way that the eye sees and really to sell that kind of cinematic, immersive look. My goal is to get my shots looking like this.
No way. He's not about to do it.
To this.
What? Please don't be a composite. Okay, wait. What could he have done? Wait, let's look. Hold on.
To sell that kind of cinematic, immersive look. My goal is to get my shots looking like this.
Is it the period?
To this.
Okay. What all has he changed here? What do we do? Is he tightening the aperture up a lot? Maybe? Because the background's less blurry? Maybe? I wonder if he's going to use a filter at all. This shot, I think, is all around brighter, too. Okay. My guess are... No, there's got to be... It can't just be like aperture ISO settings. There's got to be something else. It's got to be a filter of some kind as well. All right. Let's see. What do we got?
This. Watch on to find out how.
Oh, a filter on the window. Fuck.
I've really given this a lot of thought and I've put together my best tips to help. So whether you're a beginner or if you're more experienced, I'm hoping you'll take something away from this video. Now, there are quite a few ways that you can get this look, and here they are. If you're looking...
Oh, Dan's in chat. Just you guys, I don't know if you guys saw the update. Dan and Pisco are now on the blacklist, okay? Dan for his horrendous treatment of Dr. K, and Pisco for his horrendous slurping of Rob Noor. Both are blacklisted. My new co-host for anything else is Darius with Xena guest starring.
Enough to be shooting on a camera that has a low contrast log mode, or if you're even luckier to be shooting on a camera that has a high bit rate or even raw format. And no, The Canon 5D Mark IV's MJPEG mode doesn't count. Then you'll be in a really good position for keeping that exterior from being overexposed. Just as a point of reference, I've recorded this in a linear format, and as you can see, it's a really sunny day, and I've exposed for my skin. And then when we drop our exposure to expose for the window, you can see a huge difference, many stops lower. Taking a look at the same scene and shot in S-Log2, we can see masses more dynamic range, and I've exposed somewhere in the middle.
Wait, I need to be paying attention to this. Sorry, hold on. Wait, why are my lights not on? Did you see any footage of Darius in the Hunger Games? No.
I've recorded this in a linear format, and as you can see, it's a really sunny day, and I've exposed for my skin. And then when we drop our exposure to expose for the window, you can see
when we drop our exposure, is exposure another word for aperture or for shutter speed? When they say exposure, what does he mean there? What does exposure mean, camera? When we drop our exposure, it's just any of those things? Oh, okay, whatever.
As you can see, it's a really sunny day, and I've exposed for my skin. And then when we drop our exposure to expose for the window, you can see a huge difference, many stops lower. Taking a look at
many stops lower, he's talking about the aperture, I think, right?
The same scene and shot in S-Log2, we can see masses more dynamic range, and I've exposed somewhere in the middle between the bright window and my face. And when we add a curve, you can see things are looking pretty good, but this is still nowhere near where I would like it to be. Now with S-Log3, and of course we're getting more dynamic range still, albeit with the usual noisy shadows that we've come to expect from this profile. But let's add some contrast and saturation and see if this gets us anywhere near where we want to be. I would
contrast and saturation. He's adding things in post to do this, or?
Say definitely nowhere near where we want to be just at the moment, but I'm sure S-Log will help.
Stops is a double term, f-stop, and also just general measurement of light. Oh, okay, I didn't know that, sorry.
Us out to get there. And just in case you're wondering, the reason why there's a reddish pinky hue to my face, I haven't been running or anything like that, is because there's a garishly painted wall at the other side of the camera. Masking certain areas in your scene to either lower or raise the exposure is very common practice in cinematography. However, it can be quite time consuming because if you've got any camera movement in your shot, then you'll need to use motion tracking. A great example of this can be found on Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, one of the final scenes. Keep your eyes peeled on Narcissa Malfoy. You can clearly see that as she moves, there's an oval of light that travels with her. Sure, we can use this technique to mask around the window and lower the exposure, or we can use an underexposed shot and raise the exposure of everything else. To me, this technique isn't ideal however you go about it, because assuming you're using a standard linear, i.e. not log mode, you'll either be trying to recover highlights from the window area, or you'll be bringing up shadow noise from everywhere else.
No.
On occasion, you could even consider making some sort of composite shot where you take
No, don't say that. We're never doing that, ever.
the correctly exposed areas in multiple shots and combine them into one cheesy looking HDR style shot. One of my first choices for correcting an overexposed window would be to light my interior in an effort to balance the light in my scene.
Sure.
Let's start with our underexposed shot and then bring in a 2 light.
This shot looks like a good candidate just for some lighting. Like if you throw some light on him on the left or right here, it seems like it would be perfect.
Shot and then bring in a 2 light setup. And unbelievably, this is actually straight out of camera with zero correction.
That's not surprising
Now
at
let's
all.
take a look at our overexposed shot and compare it again to our lit shot. Now I'd say we're getting somewhere. The difficulty in doing this, of course, is to make your lighting blend in with your practical lights, and it's really not easy, and it may take quite a lot of trial and error, but get it right and you should have a nice natural looking scene and you'll be able to lower the exposure of that overexposed window. Just because I know you're interested, in this scene I used a non-diffused light on camera right to mimic the light coming through the window.
Is there anything else from yesterday uploaded? I think after I moved everything around 2 nights ago, that's what I was doing after stream, and I think I'm...
Tell us about your plan.
I think I like the final position of things. I think I want to shoot like 3 or 4 episodes without changing anything, just to make sure everything runs smoothly. And then, yeah. It's only on Patreon? Fuck. So I can't see any of these shots from up here.
And I used a light with diffusion on camera left to mimic the ambient light in the room. You could also look at flipping things on its head and reducing the amount of light that's coming through your window. I did this with neutral density sheets, which you can get from most stage lighting shops. Taking another look at the shot where we've exposed for the outside, you can see that when we add the ND sheets and adjust our exposure accordingly, it brings up some of the ambient light in the room. We can play with the exposure.
Ooh, that doesn't look good at all. Okay, the ND sheets people recommend me, but I haven't looked into like how to actually do this at all.
You can see that when we add the ND sheets and adjust our exposure accordingly, it brings up some of the ambient light in the room. We can play with the exposure settings a little bit to make it look a bit more acceptable, but the point of these ND sheets brings up some of the ambient.
You're never, anytime you've got darkness like this, you can't fuck with your camera levels. It's gonna introduce so much noise in the darks. It fucks your shit up, obviously. But he's gonna give us some secret pro tip, I'm sure. Why you say you are? Hold on, you get banned for 1 day, okay? This is probably going to get me banned, but I think swapping between the views for like a single word makes me feel like I thought I was going to do schizo nightmares. Yes, you are banned for 1 day for saying that. I think it's going to, yeah, Jesus. You don't get banned for just giving some fucking whatever criticism or feedback. You're fine. Just don't be a fucking cock muncher and you're good. I don't necessarily disagree. Like, I think that one thing I might try adding for the next episode is I might add a hold on the wide shot, I think for maybe 1 second, maybe 1.5 seconds, so that anytime it goes to the wide, it holds that. But I don't think that flipping back and forth is necessarily bad. The issue is that right now, because I brought so much attention to the production, because I'm the one working on it and we're talking through it, now people are like hyper fixated. But you watch a lot of stuff, and I don't think you realize like how many cuts there are in things sometimes, or how much, even I didn't remember how many, I think on stream one time I brought up the fight scene between Oberyn and the Mountain, and I was like, I felt like it was a really well shot, real well choreographed. Like, I don't even know how much I don't know if they cut a lot in that or anything. And then I ended up looking at it. There's like 50 million cuts per fucking movement around the thing. I was like, holy shit! I just didn't remember it. But I mean, it's shot well. Like, sometimes there's a meme that because like people meme about like certain director stuff or whatever. People think that if there's a lot of cuts, it's bad, and if it's just one shot, it's good. But nothing is generally good or bad. There's just different things achieve different effects, right? And sometimes it's like you can inappropriately use a tool, or sometimes you're just pushing something a little bit too far. So when you are, I think in general, when you're cutting a lot, you're adding tension. You're driving and pushing things forward, and it also allows you to like milk some things a little bit more as well. So for instance, like somebody hitting somebody might be all of like a half second or quarter second thing, but through like cutting or showing it, like you can extend it out like several frames. I know that in that one video, every frame of painting, they talk about Jackie Chan cutting before a punch by 1 frame, I think, in order to extend and make the hit feel a little bit more real. You can do things like that, but it's not necessarily bad to have a lot of cuts. It's just like, this is to like amp it up and like this to make it really fucking epic that he's climbing a fence, you know? That's like the point, yeah. Did you like the Arya and Bravo stuff? It was okay. It was just way too long, bro. Way too long. Way too long. Way too long. Best Editing Academy Award winner Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, that was just a shitty movie. It was everything was bad. Everything was bad about it too. It was a bad movie, and if you like that movie, you should feel bad.
Wow.
Oh yeah, this is one scene I've seen people go over. It's just no good.
Wanker. I didn't know he was fancy dressed for it.
There should be like a reason for why you cut, right? Also, you don't always have to cut to have somebody speaking. You can cut to show reactions as well, right? That's okay. You don't have to cut on a speaker. And there's a lot of different ways that you can do things, but my God.
I've got to make an impression, darling.
You look like an angry lizard.
Like, these are fine. That was okay. That was fine.
I'm gonna fly away. Can I borrow it for Sunday church?
Some of this starts to get, I mean, like, it's not horrible. Like, I don't like that. See, I don't like, fuck, you can't see it actually because I'm covering it. I don't like the cut counter. There's no, you don't have to count the cuts to show that it's bad. It's just sometimes there are questionable cuts where it's like, why are you cutting like this? It's not a matter of how many times they cut. It's like, well, what are you showing when you go to another thing, right?
So this is Queen. And you must be Freddie Mercury. You've got a gift. You all have. So tell me, what makes Queen any different from all of the...
There's also, because it's so fast, it's like, what are we doing here? What's the purpose? Because cutting quickly like this, I think it amps up whether you realize it or not, subconsciously it drives the scene forward quite a bit, but it's just a conversation, and there's no reason to have...
The other wannabe rock
to be rapid firing here. There's no, yeah.
I'll tell you what it is. We're four misfits who don't belong together, playing to the other misfits. The outcasts, right at the back of the room, who are pretty sure they don't belong either. We belong to them.
Like, what was the point of that? What was the point of that cut, right? Like, that's the thing you
We're pretty sure they don't belong either.
What was the point of that? Why?
We belong to them.
We're a family.
But no two of us are the same.
Like, what was the point of that?
Paul Prancer, meet Queen.
One of my favorite meme cuts. I don't know if it counts as a meme cut. God, I love these guys so much. Fuck, their first season was so good. I don't know if this is supposed to be like kind of a parody of a reaction cut, but when they like, maybe because it's comedy, you're thinking so much more. Well, it's comedy and it's a skit, so the time is a lot more limited, and you're thinking about every shot a lot more. But so many of the cuts here are so well done. Fuck, I have like my favorite one is hold on.
Hands up, million people.
If 6 people were to share your account at 8 iterations, watch it.
That doesn't even make it
over 1.3 million.
Fuck, hold on.
1.3
We're gonna find
million
it.
people.
Smart watches, 6 people, 1 point. The US dollar
Send me your log
currently.
again. 20 our service for
Point of
The numbers and
with hands up.
password, and I might have.
Thanks for the heads up, guys. I gave you the.
You know what? Now we're gonna watch the whole thing because I don't know exactly where it happens, and then I'll stop when I find it. This is such a good skit. Everything about this is so well done. Fuck, this is such a well done skit. This is so well done. And it's like everything is so well done, right? Okay. Formal business attire. We obviously were stressed. We're looking down at papers. Okay. We've got the standard stress, hand position, looking down at documents. Okay. We've got the pen clicking, okay? There's, I don't know what you call this, like mockumentary, like quasi-faux, like moving camera thing too, but like you're in the room, like shooting over people's shoulders, and you've got like the zooms and the ins and out, like, right? Obviously, this is all standard filming stuff, okay? So it's not like, they're not doing something super special, but they're doing it really well, right? Okay, but that's cool. Okay, hold on. Oh, guy enters, okay.
Sit.
Wait.
So, it's 11:26 on a Friday night. Why am I here?
Because we're 6 hours away from the largest bubble in the history of capitalism bursting.
A few tech titans want a new house in Cabo.
Netflix announced they'll no longer support password sharing.
Jesus Christ. Okay, when does this go into effect?
We project midnight.
So what? We pay for what we watch. That's fair. It's about time someone put a fucking limit on this thing.
Well, that's the problem, sir. There is no limit.
What do you mean there's no limit?
Netflix isn't putting a limit on accounts.
She just fucking said that. Is someone gonna tell me what the fuck is going on here?
Users are going to be grandfathered in, which means you, sir, are going to be paying for every user logged into your account.
Okay, fine. All right. Well, Claire, I gave you the login. So if you just log out, then I guess I'm good. Thanks for the heads up, guys.
Well, sir, you gave me your password, and I might have shared that with.
Okay. I want everyone to put their hands up if Claire shared the login with you. 1, 2, 3, 4. What you got over there, little guy? What is that, a hand? Okay, now I want you to keep those hands up if you shared it with anyone outside this room.
Sir, we ran the numbers, and in the United States alone, your password was shared over 1.3 million times.
1.3 million people.
The stupid boo.
That doesn't even make any fucking sense.
Not people, devices. iPads, smartwatches.
This must have been intentional. It's such a goofy, funny, stupid fucking. It was that one of the guy turning his fucking head.
That doesn't even make any fucking sense.
Not people, devices.
I don't know why. It's just so fucking funny. This
smart.
It's such a great like half second. It's a parody in the movie Marginal. Yeah, I'm aware.
Watches, TVs.
Although I don't even think they shoot in this style for any of the margin call scenes.
They add up
Was it on purpose? Yeah, it is.
real fast.
Yeah.
Why I'm pissing myself is he autistic. You ever have the issue where there's like the funniest shit in the world? There's the funniest shit in the world, and then you show a friend, and then you watch them watch it, and you realize, oh my God, this guy is an automaton. He's just not thinking, okay? That's what I'm thinking of you when you don't understand how hilarious this is. That's how I view you when you're like, I don't even get why this is funny. And I'm like, oh, you need a TikTok 9-second video of a guy fake farting, okay, during a graduation ceremony. That's what you need, because you just don't get it. You don't get it, okay?
If 6 people were to share your account at 8 iterations, we're looking north of 1.5 million.
Do you think the camera shake is natural or edited in post? Almost for sure natural. I think, don't they put the camera on like a stick and they like kind of move it around like this to get the shaky feel? I think that's how they do it.
At 9 iterations.
Unless the technology has significantly changed, which is possible it has, stuff that's edited in post is immediately very obvious. It's like, whoa, that something is weird. Something's not right here. Just because I think the camera, like how it captures light, what it looks like when you move, because you realize that like if you're looking at a 2D image and you go to the right and you move and look a little bit differently, it's different than actually moving a camera and viewing, right? There's a difference in how everything appears. It's very, would you say like uncanny? You can tell immediately when there's like when it's done in post versus the actual camera moving. They're not doing digital zoom though; it's manual zoom, so it's probably not digital shaky cam. Yeah, I mean you can tell the.
Payment is going to be greater than all the U.S.
Well, I say you can tell, but I don't know. Maybe there is some post-processing zooms that are.
Can save you some money. Send me your login again, and we can revoke the privileges of everyone on your account.
We were the first family on my block to use Netflix. Back then, if we wanted...
This is a good shot. It's good, right? The pitch blackness with the lights. It's a good silhouette. He acts it well too.
To watch a movie, we had to wait 5 days for the U.S. Postal Service to hand deliver us DVD. Now my smart fridge plays Emily in Paris on repeat 24/7.
Sir, if you give us your login, we can take care of this
Janet,
for you.
give me a car service for Phil Brexton.
Like these zooms, that zoom has to be real zoom, right?
Give me a car service for Phil Brexton. We need him here 10 minutes ago. Yeah.
I don't think, does Margin Call film with the... I feel like the filming in the boardrooms were way more, were more standardly shot. I could be totally wrong though. I don't know, let's check. What's the name of the meeting when this guy comes in? Told?
Please, sit down.
Compare the figure at the top of page 13.
Jared, it's a little early for all that. Just speak to me in plain English.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like way more standardly shot. Standardly? I don't know how you would say. I don't know how you talk about the
Place over the last 2 weeks.
So you are saying
I call it mockumentary style, but it's like
Sort of.
for us.
stuff that you see like in The Office, you know. Conventionally? No. There's a name for when you have like the camera. Like this is already, right? It's different. The camera's not attached to like a thing, like a stationary thing. It might be a guy. Would it even be on a gimbal? No, it's something different than that. The Always Ready TV skit is mocking Secession. That's the style of editing. Oh, I thought it was a Margin Call thing. Or maybe it's a combination of both. It's called handheld? Okay. Maybe the style's called handheld. It's not actually handheld though, right? There is some stabilization going on, I think.
Lincoln. The prankster is getting pranked. Haha.
I ought to be able to cut my...
It was copying The Big Short. I will watch The Big Short. No, did I watch it? No, I don't think I have. I've seen so many clips of it. from a political finance point of view, the movie is very preachy. But from an everything else point of view, this is like a... You said you did? Okay, maybe I did actually watch the whole thing. This is just a 9.5 out of 10 movie. This is very well done. All the performances are god tier. Especially... This movie is overrated as fuck. Fuck you. No, it's not. It's a really well done film. Okay. It is Ryan Gosling, right? I'm not crazy, right? Hold on. I'm just making sure I'm not about to have a... Yes, okay. Has he ever done a role like this before? Where he's this, how would you say it? Animated or... Like clean cut animated crazy?
Opportunity.
Barbie? Huh. Maybe.
B's, double B's, and triple B's that haven't sold, and we put them in a pile.
No cuts needed. This shit is beautiful. Yikes. Imagine, just kidding, football, American football. What is this? What? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is pure. This is pure Kino. This might be the most cinematic field goal I've seen in my life. Absolute Kino. Normally when something's handheld and cuts a lot, it's somewhere between cinema verite, direct cinema, and fly on the wall style. Gotcha. Okay, anyway. Let's listen to this guy finish talking about ND sheets.
Light in the room. We can play with the exposure settings a little bit to make it look a bit more acceptable, but the point of these ND sheets really becomes clear when we combine it with some lighting. The ones that I bought are made by a company called Lee, and I think they're meant to be quite well known, but they're great quality, they're very lightweight, they don't have any kind of colour cast, and most importantly, they're friendly to the wallet. I will link them below, so definitely check that out. The ones that I got are the 2-stop ND sheets, however they do a big range of other strengths. I know what you're thinking. Harv, what if we combine all the techniques that we've mentioned so far?
You didn't finish the skit? We watched this skit on stream like 5 times, okay? Fuck you.
Shooting in log, lighting the scene, and cutting down on the light coming through the window. Well, that's exactly what I did, so let's check that out now. Just as a reference, here's our original overexposed window shot, and then if we add in the shot where I've added lighting and ND sheets in front of the window, this is what we get. This example was shot with just a linear picture profile, so now let's compare this to S-Log2, and then let's grade it a little, and then let's compare it to S-Log3 with its extended dynamic range, and if we add a similar grade to S-Log2. So I'm actually quite happy with this, and to go from this to this, without any motion tracking or masking is a pretty cool thing. So that's it for now, and I really hope you found that helpful. If you know any other techniques that I've missed, definitely pop them down below, because I learned so much from these videos, and I hope that you do too. Anyway, I'll catch you next time, and let's help each other out and shoot better video.
Wow, okay, cute. ND sheets, maybe. How did they get such a good shot of this guy? I don't know, this is a lucky shot. This wasn't cut from a video, right? This must be a photograph, yeah? Do you agree that The Departed is the perfect movie? The Departed was an... Oh, The Departed was really good. No, The Departed was really, really, really good. Can you summarize that video? What? Which one? The one we just watched on things? Where you could put ND sheets on the windows, which is something I was considering doing. You could darken everything by increasing your... or closing the aperture... lowering the ISO, and then I think you'd be increasing the shutter speed. Whatever you do to make it darker, and then you got internal lighting, which is something I'm already doing. He's also fucking around with different, like, S-Log 2 and 3. I don't know how to apply those types of things, and then he's grading some of it in post, but I'm never doing any of that shit. Fuck that. What, do you think I'm just not paying attention? Do you think I would watch a video on stream and not pay attention to it? The only thing, okay? Warning. Warning, warning. Do not watch BMP CC cameras don't shoot and log. I'm going to be honest, I don't even know what that means. The one thing that I noticed the last time I watched The Departed that was a little bit wacky was the CGI that they used on the blood was really, really bad. Does anybody know what scene I'm talking about? It was outrageously bad. Or maybe it's not as bad as I remember it. I don't know. Let's see. I just remember watching it last time and I'd never realized before. And then as soon as I watched it, I was like, whoa, that's super CGI'd.
Just fucking kill me. Just fucking kill me.
I am killing you.
It's fine? Oh, okay. It super stood out to me. I was like, whoa, something got... This shot on the wall is so CGI'd. It took me out of the scene. Also, was Matt Damon's character molested by priests in The Departed? What do we think about that? Do we think that's a yes or a no? What scene gave you that idea? I think there are two scenes. One is with, there's a lot of stuff like that's kind of like in The Departed. I mean, not all of it super subtle, but one is I think Damon was a choir boy, and then I think oh my god, the main bad guy's character makes a reference to priests molesting kids. And then I'm not sure if there's supposed to be an implication that that he saved that Nicholson's character. I don't remember the character's name. I think there's supposed to be an implication that Nicholson's character like saved Damon's character, or not saved it, but just like basically did something to make the priest fuck off. I'm not sure. I don't know if that implication is supposed to be there or not. That's the implication I got. Oh, okay. You guys all know. Also, wait, it's not. This isn't like buried. This is like super well known. It's known that the baby. When Damon's girlfriend is pregnant, that baby is Leonardo DiCaprio's character's baby, right? I've never seen a movie that has a realistic headshot. It's that Black Ops 2 neck snap back, them fall shit. Maybe. I think the problem is that real life headshots don't look very real. I don't remember actually. Wait, what? Yeah, that's absolutely not up for interpretation. That's like super hinted at a lot during the movie. One is that Leonardo DiCaprio and the girl, they have an affair, obviously. Two is that Matt Damon's character seems to have ED issues, because I think there's a time when she's trying to approach him for sex, and then he like rolls over, and you know she's like, "Oh, it's okay, it's not a big deal." I think Damon also makes a reference to Nicholson's character making fun of him for not being able to have any children, all that fuck it and no kids. Yeah, he's the baby she's pregnant is definitely from DiCaprio's character, 100%. Thoughts on Good Will Hunting? Good Will Hunting is that's Kino. That's like almost a perfect movie. My God. Especially given, I have so much respect given that it was Affleck and Damon's, I think, first real script that they took to Hollywood and everything, and they wanted to act in it and all of that, and then they got good actors too. I need to read more of the story behind how they were able to put that together, because Robin Williams, an amazing performance, such a good performance. And Williams and Damon, anytime they're on screen together, it was so nice. And then they got like the one Swedish dude to do the professor guy. He's a good character, good heel kind of. Yeah. Have you noticed an uptick in anti-SJW/reactionary content in movies/TV shows on YouTube recently? Or would you say that it's the same as if we're back in 2016? I don't know. I feel like that stuff has kind of receded a bit. I feel like it was at its peak like a few years ago. But thoughts on the first A Quiet Place film? Pretty good 90-minute thriller. It was okay. I don't think there should have been any music or back. I think it should have been all. I think that would have been a braver choice for the film, but except for maybe at the very end. In my opinion, Robin Williams is a way better drama actor than a comedy actor. What do you think? Maybe, yeah. I don't know how to explain it. One thing I've always said is that I think that people should be multifaceted. Like, it's good to have a contrast in your character. Like in real life, it's good to be able to be funny and be serious. To be able to do multiple things it's really valuable, because I think it makes the other things you do stand out. Like, I think some of the best emotional selling points will be on shows that are like comedies, but then when they hit a serious tone, the serious tone has got so much contrast to what you ordinarily see. It's a very, very effective way at conveying drama. And yeah, I think when I think of like Robin Williams in a serious role, he can do that as well. Good Will Hunting is just done. Yeah, he just had a very good vibe. I don't know how to explain it. Having worked in a casino, have you ever seen the movie Casino? Thoughts? Were you Robert De Niro's character? I don't. Bro, I worked in a diner in the back near the poker room. But I don't think any of that crazy shit. I also worked at, it was called the Horseshoe in Council Bluffs. I think it's owned by, they might have changed the name by now, though. It's the same. The boat? No, the boat was called Harrah's, but I worked at the Horseshoe. They might both be owned by Caesars now. I'm not sure. What have you watched recently? I don't know, nothing. I've just been working. I watched the movie Soul. I thought that was okay. It was cute. But that's all I would say. I would say cute. Yeah. Louis C.K. bit on Good Will Hunting. I've watched the first 2 episodes of Suits. Does that count? But then everybody in chat said it was going to be really bad, so now I'm not sure if I'm based. Was The Social Network done by the same guy that did The Big Short?
When we met in January, I...
Wait, who did The Social Network? No, this was Fincher. No, it was. It was written by Sorkin, right? Wait, did Sorkin not write The Big Short? The writing. I'm talking about the writing, sorry. Or was Sorkin not involved in this at all? No, he wasn't involved in this one at all. Okay, that's good. All right. I don't know why I just didn't like this movie. I don't think I like this actor. It sounds mean. Or does it sound mean? I just don't like this guy. I feel like with a different lead. I don't know if I've liked him in anything, ever. Even as, I think he's the actor in Zombieland. Even in Zombieland, I don't know if I like him. I just don't think I've ever liked this actor in any role ever that I've ever seen him in, ever, my entire life. Even in that new Vivarium or whatever stupid fucking movie I watched, I didn't like him. Was he in that movie? I think he was. He was.
concerns.
Did you not like Zombieland? No, I did like Zombieland. I just don't think I like this actor ever.
Serve it.
I had to swear an oath.
Okay.
And call themselves tall. They have.
Which also sucks because other people gave really good performances in this movie, I think. The guy that he fucks over, whoever this guy is, the Spider-Man guy. To be fair, I like this actor significantly less. No, wait, never mind. I was going to say ever since I learned he was British, but that was the other Spider-Man guy, right? This guy's not a secret Brit, is he? Please don't say he's a secret Brit. Andrew Garfield, don't do this to me. Is he? Wait, him too? Is he? No. English and American? No. No shot. Wait, are all the Spider-Mans British? Is Tobey Maguire British? Hold on. Maybe he's like... You already looked this up. I thought it was Tom Holland that was British.
Hi, I'm Andrew Garfield, and this is the Wired Auto... Complete interview. Good luck. Never in my life have I Googled myself. Of course I have. It mostly...
He's like acting now. This is him acting. This is like a skit. This is a skit. You know this, right? This is like a skit.
Hurts to Google yourself, so I wouldn't recommend it.
Like he doesn't even sound like he's this. He sounds like he's putting it on too thick. I am Spider-Man. Like he's not even real. This isn't even real. I'm an actor.
Fun. Is Andrew Garfield a nice guy?
Garfield. No shot. Can't be real. This is not a real accent.
You decide, man. You decide. I don't know. You tell me. Am I a nice guy? Sometimes. Like if I'm walking down the street.
Like you see how he slipped into the ordinary manner of speaking there for a second because he was like showing emotion, and then he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta roll it back."
Sometimes. Like if I'm walking down the street, I'm having a nice day, and you say "yo," and I'm like, "Yo, that's nice." But then sometimes I'll be like, "Hey, I don't want to say yo. I'm tired," or like something just happened that made me sad. I just want to be a person, man. So yeah, yes and no. Is Andrew Garfield in Uptown Funk? I wish. Is Andrew Garfield playing Spider-Man again?
Anyway, he gave a really good performance in this movie, I thought.
That have come
And so did the other asshole guy, the guy who was playing the MySpace owner.
He's wired in.
This guy also did really well. He gave a really good performance. This guy, he's like Keanu Reeves to me. He just is flat and boring the whole time. But like Keanu Reeves, he gets away with it because people are always like, well, that's what he's supposed to act like in that role, is flat and boring. Is it actually Justin Timberlake? Wait, hold on. I was going to say Timberlake as a joke, and then I thought you guys were going to call me face blind. Is it actually Justin Timberlake? Oh my God, it is. Wait, does he do has he been in other movies? How is he just a person in this movie? Oh, he has been kind of in other movies, kind of. I've never heard of any of these. Wait, have I heard of In Time? He acted for like 3 years and then stopped? Or what happened? He just had a Netflix film come out. Okay, but what's he doing for the 10 years between here and the Netflix film? Anyway, regardless. Okay, well, Timberlake and Spider-Man. They both give really good performances. Oh, yeah, they do. And then you've got the Jesse dude who this guy just, I just don't like him in any movie I've ever seen him in. I just don't like him. He's just so boring and flat.
New shares of stock.
You were told. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm sorry, I'm making fun of him.
That if new investors came
How much
along...
were your shares diluted? How much were his?
What was Mr. Zuckerberg's ownership share diluted down to?
It wasn't.
What was Mr. Moskowitz's ownership share diluted down to?
It wasn't.
What was Peter diluted?
Because you were the business head of the company and you made a bad business deal with your own company?
It's gonna be like I'm not a part of Facebook.
It won't be like you're not a part of Facebook. You're not a part of Facebook.
My name's on the masthead.
You might want to check again.
Oof.
It's because I froze the account?
You think we were gonna let you parade around in your ridiculous suits pretending you were running this company?
Sorry! My Prada's at the cleaners! Along with my hoodie and my fuck you flip-flops. You...
Damn, he got him. Okay. As someone who lives and works in rural Texas, a lot of us are very disenfranchised by Trump to the point to where there are no signs in sight and there's talk of sitting out the election. Wait, why? I would have imagined rural Texas people would love Trump. It reminds me of the my dad works in Pennsylvania, and for some reason the border is very important to him. Fuck, this whole 50-minute set is just amazing. It's just such a great set. This is such a great set.
He needs a wall. My dad needs a wall.
So good.
Also, I was just at the border of Arizona and Mexico. There's a wall. I had no idea. I got down.
The Shane is entirely a delivery comedian. It's crazy how good of a comic you can be just by talking with a comedic cadence. I mean, depending on the type of comic you are, yeah. But I mean, delivery can be obviously really, really, really important, yeah. I think there are some people that just write jokes that are, the jokes themselves are just really funny. But I feel like most of the people I watch tend to be delivery-oriented people. Even if you write good jokes, the delivery is still important, but... Also, too, keep in mind that the jokes, or I'm sorry, the delivery is very practiced, right? It's not just like he's just telling a joke for the first time. Like, I'm sure they think about a lot, like the pauses and everything, and are like very, like they've done these skits like dozens or hundreds of times, especially before it's like gone on a special or anything too, right? Yeah. Did you prepare for the Tiger King debate? No. What am I supposed to... How can I prepare? Thinking about this edit again. Never seen the movie? Don't give a fuck. Have you watched The Tiger King? Never in my entire life. I have absolutely... I don't know anything about this guy or... Joe Exotic with limo waiting outside prison. Fails to get Trump pardoned. Pardon for what? What did he even get? "22-year sentence in a Fort Worth, Texas prison for his conviction on charges he participated in a murder for hire plot." Jesus. Wait, what the fuck did he even do? I thought he was just like on a reality TV show. Is his last name really Exotic? Known professionally as Joe Exotic, a nickname, the Tiger King. An American media personality, businessman who operated the Greater Exotic Animal Park. The lady he wanted to murder runs Big Cat Rescue here in Tampa. They battled it out for years. Oh, I've seen videos of them. The Big Cat Rescue. Wait, is it the same thing on YouTube? This thing? With the big cats. I don't need a song. Oh, look, the guy. Oh my God, I remember these videos. They're so cute. Look. Why don't you talk with Mahler anymore? We just don't talk. It's not like we don't talk. We just haven't had anything to talk about. Why isn't a volume for this? I like how the big cats do the same small cat behavior. Like all the cats act the exact same. Wow. The owner of Big Cat Rescue fed her husband to her tigers? Wait, like after he was dead? Like his body? Or like had him killed like that? That's the theory? Look, he's stalking. Look at him stalking. Ooh, and then he stops. Look, look at him. Oop, oop. Ooh. Oh. Oh, look how cute they are. I think they can put like the big cats and the little cats together and they chill, right? Or am I making that? Oh my God, look, it's kitty surgery. Oh, look. Have you ever heard a lion roar before? It is pretty crazy, the sound that they can produce. If you go to a zoo where there are lions, and you can be like in a totally different part, and when the lion roars, you can, whoa, it's a big sound. Like, holy shit. Oh, look, and they're even like different colors. They're woke. 13 years ago. The only thing I don't like about cats is that I feel like it's a lot harder to tell when cats are playing versus when cats are trying to kill each other, as opposed to dogs playing and dogs killing each other. I feel like for a dog, it is immediately obvious when a dog is like upset and is trying to kill another dog. Like you'll never have a second guess in your mind. But cats look like they feel like they're always murdering each other, except for like kitties when they're kind of like, it's different. But fuck, I don't know, man. Cats I feel like it's so much harder. I think they're just autistic. It's so much harder to tell with a cat. I don't know if the cats always know when they're playing. Like, you look at the cat's tail. I don't think you can tell from the cat's tail. I feel like the best way to tell is for cats, it's their ears. For dogs, you can always tell with their tail. Dogs cannot help their tail. When they're in a good mood, it's like an erection. It's like always wagging. Even when they're trying to be sneaky and they're trying to whatever, like a dog will like hide and he thinks he's hiding and his tail is like making all this fucking noise. The cat's tail will always go like murder mode, but their ears are generally chill. But anytime you see the cat's ears do like the whoop, then you're like, oh shit, he's in like fucking Voltron mode. He's about to go full murder cat. Watch this before the debate.
Joe Exotic. Joe Exotic start the fire? No, he couldn't have because he was away at a funeral.
Okay, let's go.
The Tiger King was filmed over 5 years and follows the life of Joe Exotic, born Joseph Strivogel, a gay, gunslinging, drug-using rock star hillbilly married to 2 men who both later claimed to be straight. Joe owns a park in Oklahoma called GW Zoo, and they have a collection of big cats and employ a cast of characters like a guy who came to feed a bear and just stayed on as an employee for over a decade. Apparently, big cats have this power over people. For example, a woman working at the zoo lost her arm after it was bitten off by a tiger, but due to her love of animals, she was back within 7 days. The employees earned about $130 a week for 12-hour days of hard labor, but they got to live in cockroach-infested motorhomes, eat expired steaks from Walmart, and play with tigers all day, so I guess it evens out. You also get to meet some other big cat enthusiasts like Doc Ansel, who owns Myrtle Beach Safari and has 3 or 4 or 5 or 9 wives, nobody really knows, but his son describes him as a Bhagavan, which means the blessed or fortunate one in Hindu. Another character is Mario Tabraue, a notorious drug kingpin who was sentenced to 100 years in prison but got out early. He's also an exotic animal dealer and is described as the inspiration for Tony Montana in Scarface. Essentially, they make money by having people come to their zoos, pet the cubs, and experience wildlife up close, but you also get the sense that they all participate in the illegal sale of these endangered animals as well. Joe Exotic would frequently get hired by malls to show off his animals and promote the conservation of their habitat. Everything was going just fine until Carol Baskin, an animal rights activist who also...
If you care about like animal stuff, okay, if you give a fuck about animal anything, okay, I don't. So if you want to buy these animals and torture them and eat them, knock yourself out, because we don't give a fuck. But if you do care, a lot of people associated with these trades treat the animals incredibly poorly. One of the big, I'm being very careful not to blanket here, but like there are a couple things you should know. For instance, when it comes to buying animals, especially with pedigree, meaning they have like, you can guarantee the purity of their fucking line or whatever. Like when you're buying animals like this, oftentimes just the breed itself is unhealthy because you have to inbreed them so much, and there are things that are just not functional in animals when they're purebred to a certain point. For dachshunds, it might be their bellies droop so low that it causes back problems. I think for pugs, they can't fucking breathe. like their whole life is like fighting, for oxygen. And for other animals that are purebred, that are bred for aesthetic instead of functionality, they're just very, very, very unhealthy. Number one. Number two, if you buy from breeders, oftentimes the animals are mistreated or they're very unhealthy because they're just like cash crops for these people. So if you buy from a breeder and you get a new animal, they might be sick and they might die in a few weeks or a month or two because they've got some underlying disease or whatever, because they were either birthed unhealthily, they weren't properly fed or maintained, or the parents, the mother wasn't taken care of during pregnancy. So buying from breeders can be rough. And then like people that do like exotic animals and shit, I don't have any firsthand or super knowledgeable experience here, but my guess is it's also the same in that a lot of these animals are probably also super mistreated and not cared for, like fed, exercise, and like have good like medical upkeep and everything too. So just be very careful about that. Here's how you say dachshund. I've heard dachshund, dachshund, wiener dog, and I think those are the two that I usually. I've heard dachshund, dachshund, and wiener dog. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that, but.
Show off his animals and promote the conservation of their habitat. Everything was going just fine until Carol Baskin, an animal rights activist who also happens to have a few cats in cages and probably used to breed them, but that's beside the point. Anyway, now she owns Big Cat Rescue and is trying to stop Joe Exotic from essentially doing the same thing she does. Joe describes her as wanting to have full control over all the cats. But wait, there's more, because in 1997, Carol's former husband Don Lewis disappeared and was never found. Law enforcement believe he was murdered. How and where, they have no idea. Joe believes Carol did it and buried him under the sewer. Some friends of Don believe he was fed to the cats. Other theories include a business deal gone wrong.
We've seen videos of lions getting caught cheating on one another. No. Shane Gillis has stolen some stuff from Louis C.K., like the way he says, it was mean for us to have done that. The tone of words he uses is the same with Louis C.K. when he says it and some other stuff. Well, I mean, I'm sure he's inspired by him, yeah. I mean, to say that one stand-up comedian is stealing from one of the most popular stand-up comedians of all time, that would be a pretty brave thing to do. I mean, I'm sure he probably just watches a lot of Louis C.K., right?
Joe believes Carol did it and buried him under the sewer. Some friends of Don believe he was fed to the cats. Other theories include a business deal gone wrong and Don just wandering off. All that's known is that his disappearance came right as their marriage was falling apart. Don's friends recall that the last time they spoke, he was talking about how he was going to ask Carol for a divorce. Other details of the case include the suspicious fact that Mr. Lewis's will was stolen by Carol, and when it was formally presented, it led with, "Upon my disappearance," which isn't usually found in wills. Don was very wealthy and Carol got it led with, "Upon my disappearance," which isn't usually found in wills. Don was very wealthy and Carol got nearly all his assets after declaring him dead exactly 5 years and 1 day.
Is that true? I don't want to research this. I don't care enough to research this. Whatever.
After he disappeared. In Florida, someone who goes missing can be declared dead after 5 years. We got a little sidetracked there, but essentially Carol believes Joe is abusing animals, so emails all the places that he would usually be performing at, telling them not to hire him. Joe eventually renames his traveling circus Big Cat Rescue Entertainment to try to rank higher on...
you see Shane and Louis C.K. series on U.S. presidents? No. Carol Baskin's dead husband found alive, but no one noticed until a year later. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't care to dig in all this. I don't care that much.
Google than Carol's Big Cat Rescue Corporation. Carol ended up suing Joe for copyright infringement and won over $1 million in the case, but Joe couldn't pay back the money, so the court ordered him to give up possessions. Joe had registered almost everything in someone else's name, so everything that he actually owned, Carol wanted. For example, his watch, which, rather than handing over, he decides to blow up. So everything that he actually owned, Carol wanted, so the court ordered him to give up possessions. Joe had registered almost everything in someone else's name, so everything that he actually owned, Carol wanted. For example, his watch, which, rather than handing over, he decides to blow up. Now would probably be a good time to tell you about...
I feel like almost nothing of this is true, but okay, well, whatever. Well, I'm just, let me just sit back and absorb this passively and not critically think about anything going on here, okay? Just as a quick thing, when people talk about the reason why you have companies and LLCs is to limit liability. You can't, as long as something's in a company name, they can't hold you personally liable for what happens. That's bullshit. That is not true. You cannot in bad faith hide assets or do shit like that with other companies. For instance, we saw that in one of the Sidney Powell indictments. There was actually an explicit name for this, where these entities, for all intents and purposes, are the same thing. What was it called? Fuck. What am I thinking of? What is this called? Somebody will know it. Where are my tort lawyers? Fuck you. There was a name for this, but yeah, you can't just like magically move. Oh, alter egos. Yeah, alter egos. That's what they call them. Yeah, you can't just magically hide shit in other companies. Like, oh, that wasn't me. I limited liability. But I'm not saying the whole story is fake. I'm just saying that there's no way that like, oh, she tried to sue him, but all of his stuff was just in somebody else's name. LOL. But I'm sure there's other crazy shit. But I don't care. We're not doing this.
For example, his watch, which, rather than handing over, he decides to blow up. Now would probably be a good time to tell you about Joe's internet show, which seemingly only existed for the sole purpose of talking smack about Carol Baskin. On the show, they would do things like shoot mannequins of Carol, send her poisonous snakes in the mail, talk about getting her head in a bottle, and, last but certainly not least, write songs and make music videos about how she killed her husband. The show was produced by Rick Kirkham, who, in exchange for making his nightly series, got full rights to a reality TV show about GW Zoo. Cameras were always rolling, and Joe became paranoid that the footage would get sold to Carol. All footage was stored in the production studio, which conveniently burnt down in what was clearly an act of arson. After all Rick's work went up in smoke, he left GW Zoo, where he was living throughout the production. Did Joe Exotic start...
Wait, I'm sorry. This is very dense with a lot of...
would get sold to Carol. All footage was stored in the production studio, which conveniently burnt down in what was clearly an act of arson.
Okay.
After all Rick's work went up in smoke, he left GW Zoo, where he was living throughout the production. Did Joe Exotic start the fire? No, he couldn't have because he was away at a funeral. Was he involved? Most likely. Meanwhile, in Florida, Carol...
My dad would sell shit in my name when I was a child because of tax reasons. Yeah, you can't do that. That's not a real thing. Your dad might have thought he was being clever or cute or like sneaky, but in reality, the IRS probably just didn't give a fuck because he didn't make that much money. Because I'm pretty sure that even as a child, if you've accounted for more than $600 in income, I think as a child, I don't know if you can even be claimed by your parents anymore. No? Hold on. Let's look this up real quick. How much money can my child make and still be claimed as a dependent? Oh, wait, hold on. It might be $5,000. Wait, can I claim him as a dependent? No, because your child would not be the age test. Blah, blah, blah. To be considered a qualifying relative, his income must be less than this. No, wait. For somebody under the age of 18, I'm actually $600. I think is a 1099 limit. But whatever the answer is, you can't just like move income around and then claim people as dependents and not have them file taxes. Like I'm 99% sure that flows through somewhere to your 1040, or it's going to flow through somewhere, and you're going to have to account for that income. Do you know what happened to Eli? Was he an Israeli plant? Yes, he was. Fuck, how do I do this? Hold on. Does my minor child look hot? Or I need to file taxes if he works. A minor who may be claimed as a dependent has to file a return once their income exceeds their standard deduction. For tax year 2023, this is the greater of $1,250 of the amount earned, income plus $400 up to the full standard deduction of $13,850. So your income exceeds the standard deduction. But a child cannot claim a standard deduction if somebody else claims you as a dependent, right? That's essentially what you're doing when you're claiming a dependent. You're basically eating their deduction, right? So they'd still have to pay taxes on it. Yeah. You can't just magically... If it was that easy, everybody would do it.
Start the fire? No, he couldn't have because he was away at a funeral. Was he involved? Most likely. Meanwhile, in Florida, Carol is still trying to collect on a $1 million settlement. Lucky for Joe, a guy by the name of Jeff Lowe steps up to pay the debt. Jeff was a playboy who drove Ferraris and partied nights away in Vegas. Lowe portrayed himself...
Look at that. Look at this guy's face. Oh, he's got his mouth open and everything.
Lowe portrayed himself as a very wealthy man, and Joe bowed down to him. The only problem was he didn't actually have any money. Or at least not as much as he said he did. Jeff was a bit of a con man and eventually ended up owning the park, slowly taking it over, beginning with an overhaul of the staff. The first one to be brought on was his handyman, Alan Glover, who would eventually be hired by Joe to kill Carol Baskin. But before that, Joe would run for president. After his unsuccessful 2016 presidential campaign, he decided to run for Oklahoma governor under the Libertarian Party. His campaign manager, Joshua Dial, who was a Walmart manager that Joe met on one of his daily trips to pick up bullets and explosives.
Why do all of these... No, that's too many.
Explosives, has stated that Joe didn't know what a libertarian was, and running the campaign was the worst decision he ever made. Joe surprisingly ended up getting third in the Libertarian primary, claiming nearly 19% of the vote. Unfortunately for Joe, things began to come down fast after an FBI investigation found that he'd hired one of his staff to go down to Florida and kill Carol Baskin. Ultimately, the hitman decided not to follow through, but because there was no crime or proof of payment, the FBI were unable to prosecute. However, Jeff Lowe got his friend Alan, but because there was no crime or proof of payment, ultimately the hitman decided not to follow through.
Wait, what's happening here?
But because
usually when these old look at the aspect ratio, right? This is old footage. Usually these cameras could never record these like monitors because they'd always be like flickery or whatever. Why do you think it's not being all flickery and weird on this here? What's going on?
There was no crime or proof of payment, the FBI were unable to prosecute. However, Jeff Lowe got his friend Alan Glover, the same guy who bailed on the murder, to confess to being paid $3,000 to carry out the crime. Whether this was made up by Jeff to get some good graces with the FBI is hard to tell. But it did lead to Joe's arrest, and on January 22nd, 2020,
only CRT monitors have that problem? Is that true? I don't know if that's true or not.
he was sentenced to 2 counts of murder for hire, 8 counts of falsifying wildlife records, and 9 counts of violating the Endangered Species Act. He was sentenced to 22 years in prison. In the end, this is really just a story of a bunch of people who hate each other, and although their intentions might have been good at the beginning, they got drawn down this horrible path, and no animals were really helped in the end. GW Zoo was shut down by Jeff Lowe, but he hopes to open a new Oklahoma zoo in summer 2020. There's also been some talk about him possibly being investigated, and this story is far from over. So, until then, thanks for watching.
Wow. What? Wait, should I even be talking to this guy?
I was sitting in a chair, looking at him when he put the gun to his head.
Is this guy watching somebody kill themselves? Jesus.
It's not like on the movies. I knew he was dead the second that he pulled the trigger, but at the same time I didn't,
How did this even get started? I don't know, modern day debate somehow.
Travis was a jokester. He was a prankster. He liked to play pranks on people.
Wow, epic prank, dude. You're dead. How long do you think people get away with filing incorrectly like that to try to increase their returns? If you're trying to do tax evasion, like illegal tax stuff, you don't file at all. Or you would file and lie, but you can't file incorrectly because the IRS will catch incorrect filings unless you're like, how to say that? It's too vague a term. When people pay you, or when other people file taxes, they're filing copies with the IRS, and then the IRS matches that up with what you file. So if you file stuff that's not congruent with what other people file, then it's going to flag their shit and you're going to get rejected on your tax returns. So if you're trying to evade taxes, I think you either won't account for the income or you'll just lie about it in some other way. But depending on how much money you make, you can get away with tax fraud for a long time. A lot of people do. Recommended a video explaining echo chambers to your email. Check it out. It's great. It's great for understanding conspiracy theorists and how they work. Okay.